Oh my God, I just got lucky as you can. I just got as lucky as you can possibly get while in this video. So I want to show you guys this new legendary essence. The mage is actually nutty now. There is a new weapon, and look what this weapon does, okay? Arcane Torrent now creates a chaotic orb that moves with you and fires arcane missiles at random nearby enemies. So I actually have this ability right here. Look at how much damage it does. 3,458 damage to all enemies in an area. Using Arcane Torrent slowly consumes its energy, which recovers. However, the essence, what it does is it now fires missiles at random nearby enemies for 5 seconds. There is no diminishing returns and the cooldown is lower. So what this actually means is this orb looks like this. It's this orb that shows up and just attacks randomly all of the time. It counts as a buff, so it can be increased by beneficial effects. It will auto target things and kill it down. It's actually nutty in terms of actual farming. It moves with you, so you can very quickly farm when you're going with it. But here's the really good thing about this essence and why it feels like Mage got so nutty is not only is this, I mean, absolutely amazing for when you're farming and running through, but it's also really good for single target damage because each one of these little shots you're seeing go out will either choose to target a random person or target the same person, and there is no diminishing returns. So here we have a boss, right? You see how it's hitting them multiple times and it's still hitting 5497? So when you have a single target, it is actually pretty high damage as well. That's one ability only, basically doing all of that damage there. It also hits multiple times, so it will proc things like Seeping Bile a lot of the time while you're going. So while you're farming, it will be procking Seeping Bile, okay? But the amount of damage this actually does means effectively you can use Lightning Nova with either the circle one or the little guy that zaps around like the Yondu's arrow. You can use the Scorch, and you can use the Arcane Torrent to continually farm very easy. In fact, I've been farming for hours just with this build right here, and you don't really even need the other ones. Between just the Lightning Nova and the Arcane Torrent, that's all I really need. Just these little lasers that are zapping around is sort of like an aimbot build that just, look how quickly it just destroys everything. So I am an absolute huge fan of this essence. I think this essence is quite good. The thing is, there's other essences that make it even better, like Arcane Torrent damage would just flat out increase. But speaking of the single target damage, there's a new pair of pants I don't have yet. Whenever Arcane Torrent hits the same enemy 4 times, they take an additional burst of 4,157, and that damage gets increased as your essences go up. So this is more single target damage, which is going to make it better on the only thing that this is really weak to. Like, let me give you an idea. So if you're running this AoE farming build, and you have things like Lightning Nova, you got Scorch, you got your Arcane Torrents, you got your Teleport, and you're just running around, the only thing you're really weak to in terms of farming is it's very difficult often to kill like a yellow mob, or maybe you want to have enough damage for one of the blue mobs and you got to throw a couple basic attacks in. But because of the way this works, where it actually just targets anything, it'll target anything, randomly hit random enemies, or it will just single target, focus down and nuke one target, it's actually, it fixes that problem. It's actually just like really, really good. You can tell I'm excited by it because I picked it up randomly and I was like, oh, this is the new one I was kind of wanting to try. And then it was just insane from the rip. Oh my God, I just got lucky as you can. I just got as lucky as you can possibly get while in this video. And one of the pants I just got, look at this, Arcane Torrent also fires tracking missiles that seek out enemies dealing 6,000 damage. So there's multiple variants of pants. Let's try these pants. You'll also notice that the Awakening on the main weapon just increases your Arcane Torrent damage again. And then the essence increase for this one increases your Arcane Torrent damage. So just on the weapon, I have 22% Arcane Torrent damage. There's also the Arcane Torrent damage increased pants I was showing you as well. And now you can also pair it with, if you're not going to use the Scorch helmet, for instance, you can even pair it with something like the Teleport helmet, which increases your damage by 10%. So the reason that Shimmerlin, for instance, and the Monk was so disgusting is you have all these modifiers of damage, increase, damage, increase, damage, increase. Well, you can kind of do the same thing with Arcane Torrent. So now we got the new tracking missile pants, and you can see the pants. See the blue missile? It's constantly firing out an additional tracking missile as well. Dude, and another legendary. I'm getting a ton of legendaries right now. I've been farming pretty fast. So what this build allows you to do is be able to pick multiple skills that constantly kill things around you, sort of like the previous build I showed, but this is a way better one. So now you have the Storm Armor, you have the Arcane Torrent, and you have the Lightning Nova, and it looks like this. And when you're running around, you're sort of just slaughtering everything as you go through. If the Lightning Nova won't kill you, then the Arcane Torrent will. You know what I mean? And that single target damage, look at this. Walking upon the blue, we've already casted it a while ago, so it only had about half of it left. Even with being knocked back, the Arcane Torrent had enough damage just to basically slaughter it. So for me, huge W. If you have a Seeping Bow or Bottled Hope, it works very well with those gems, as once again, it counts as a buff, so it will trigger Bottled Hope. And Seeping Bow has many opportunities to proc. As you can see, each of these is an individual hit, even on single target, so it will allow you to have tons of opportunities to proc things like Seeping Bile, and it is also a lazy man's build of being able to just run around and destroy everything. I mean, look how quickly things just melt in front of you. It feels like the Firestorm Barbarian, but they don't really have to follow you or walk into the fire to do it. You just sort of kill everything by just being near it, and you can stack so much arcane percentage damage bonuses through the things like the legs, through the things like the weapon, and if you have any awakenings at all, it's going to increase your arcane torment damage even more. We have 22% just here. We have 10% damage increase from doing the helmet. So you can find many different variants of this build that are going to work just fine for you. So this build isn't really the only one for this. It's more of a showcase just of this new weapon called the Rift Carver. So if you haven't tried this yet, this is an absolute insane item, it feels like, for the wizard, and is one of my new favorite essences in the entire game. If you like the essence too, or you like the video, or you like me, consider liking the video, as it will actually help me out a lot, and subscribe to see more daily Diablo Immortal content.